I think it's pronounced Crew 90.
What's up, boys and girls? It's your boy Johnny, aka Crew 90. Now, I've worked at my current job for several years now, a pretty good time. I've gotten to know almost everybody there. Almost everybody there knows me. I will say that lately we've hired a bunch of new people who I don't know, and actually it kind of makes me feel a little bit bad about myself because for whatever reason, they all seem to know me. At least once a day, somebody I don't know will walk by me and they'll be like, "Oh, hi, Johnny," and I don't know their name, so I'm just like, "Oh, hey, buddy, how's it going, pal?" Or the other one, friend. "What's up, friend?" Yeah, if I don't know you, you're either pal, buddy, or friend to me. So, but either way, with the exception of like, a handful of these newer people that we just brought on, I do know almost all of my coworkers, and they all know me, and most of them know my story, and they've actually, in fact, a lot of them have actually watched my 911 call already. In fact, a surprisingly large amount of my coworkers are actually subscribed to me, and it's kind of a weird feeling, because I'll put up a video, and then like the very next day I'll be at work, and they'll start walking up to me and talking to me about it, and it kind of makes me feel like cool, I guess. In fact, some of my coworkers are probably watching this video right now, so hi Christian, hi Chad, hi Shane, anybody else that I am not thinking of right now, hi. But anyways, back to the story. This one coworker that I was working with, I really thought that he knew I was missing a leg. Apparently, I was wrong. So when you don't have an actual flesh and blood leg, you don't have the muscles or any of the tendons or ligaments or whatever is in an actual leg, obviously, because you don't have it. So to combat that and give you like some of the natural recurring like movements that you would have, like you step down, then you have natural muscles kind of helping you push back up, etc. They put springs into your prosthetics. Now, not all prosthetic legs and feet will have this, but some of the higher end ones do, and I happen to be lucky enough to be in a higher end setup. So I have some springs kind of where my ankle would be, and then in the actual bottom of the foot, etc. And I didn't feel like they were springing. I didn't necessarily have that that bounce to my step. That's like not even just like, oh, Johnny looks really down today, he doesn't have that bounce in his step. But like, yes, like I literally was walking around without a bounce in my step, and I could feel it. So I'm like, I need to fix this. I still got several hours left on my shift. Let me go and get my first leg kit out of the locker. And oh yeah, by the way, first leg kit, not a first aid kit. When you're an amputee, you should always have a first leg kit. So mine has a screwdriver, some screws, some Loctite, some rubbing alcohol. I think there's some ointment in there. There's some extra socks, prosthetic socks. And then most importantly, my WD-40. I have a can of it. So I go grab my first leg kit and I head to the back room, and not the bathroom, the back room. It's the room in the back, the room behind all the other rooms. So I'm in the back room, and I'm sitting there on this table because there's no chairs in the back room, and I start trying to assess the situation. I take my shoe and my sock off, they're on the floor. I got my foot shell off, it's sitting on the table next to me. I'm looking at my actual prosthetic foot, and for those of you not versed in amputee lingo or, very, familiar with prosthetic components, a prosthetic foot does not look like a foot. It's basically just a bifurcated piece of metal, and it just gives you support, doesn't do anything else. The foot shell is what actually looks like a foot, and you put it on over your prosthetic foot like a shoe, basically. And it looks like a foot, it's shaped like a foot, it has toes, mine actually has toenails. It's what allows you to be able to wear shoes and socks, or walk around a beach barefoot and not scare little kids. So I have the foot shell, which looks like a foot. If you don't know what you're expecting, it probably looked like I had a foot sitting next to me. I'll give him that. But I had the foot shell sitting on the table next to me, and now I'm looking at my foot, and I can't really get a good angle, a good view, like how I'm angled, because it's still attached to me, So I go ahead and take my whole prosthetic leg off, and I'm holding it, and I'm looking, and I see, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the issue. It does seem to be the springs aren't really springy. Let me go ahead, and I get my little can WD-40, and I start hosing it down and getting it good. And at this point, my coworker comes around the corner into the back room looking for me, and I hear him saying like, "Hey, Johnny," and then he locks eyes with me, and then he completely freezes. Guys, I think I broke him temporarily. Like when you hit the restart button on a computer, I think that's what I did to his brain, because he completely froze, paralyzed, boom. And then he slowly kind of rebooted. His eyes started kind of scanning the whole situation, and he like looked me up and down like a piece of meat, and his eyes went to the foot shell, then to the prosthetic in my hand, then back to the foot shell, back to the leg in my hand, to the fact that I have no leg where my leg should be, back to the leg at hand, to my eyes, to the leg, to the no leg, to my eyes, to the leg, to the foot, to the leg, to the no leg, to the leg, to my eyes, and then back to the foot, and then back at me. And then he abruptly kind of turns, starts stammering some Neanderthal language. He's like, Johnny, the leg, like he can't even formulate words. I'm telling you, I think I reset him back to the Stone Age. And then at this point, he like bolts to go back out onto the main floor, and he completely misses the doorway. Boom, right off the wall, like bounces off the wall, literally puts his hands up afterwards and just stands there for a second like he thinks the wall is trying to attack him or something, and he didn't just walk into it. Looks at me one last time, kind of looks at everything again, and then gone. I'm hysterical. I shouldn't be laughing at my coworker who probably just smashed his face pretty hard. I shouldn't be laughing at him, but I'm hysterical. I can't even hold it together. I'm trying to pull myself back together, metaphorically and physically. I had to put myself back together because I'm trying to get everything on so I can chase him down and make sure he's okay, and also just be like, what the hell was that? And I finally get everything back on. I get it all on. I run out on the sales floor, and I'm like, dude, are you okay? And he will not look at me. He's not making eye contact. He's just like, yep, I'm fine. I'm good. You good? I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good. And I'm like, bro, buddy. Now see, and I wasn't calling him buddy because I don't know his name. I'm calling him buddy because he's actually a buddy of mine. But I'm like, buddy. Typically when people say that they're good, they're not actually good. So are you good? And he's like, yep, I'm fine. And I'm like, well, you just did it again. So how about this? If you need to talk to me about anything, and maybe ask me any questions or something, come find me. I'll be in the back room and we can discuss it. So I head back in there and go ahead and clean up my mess and get my first leg kit all back together again. And sure enough, about 30 seconds later, he comes in behind me and we have a small little discussion about what he just saw and the fact that I've been missing my leg for 9 years. And of course, I give him some fake answers to the how. First, I tell him it's a pogo stick accident. Then I tell him a gator took it off. But eventually, I told him the truth. And everything eventually was fine. He really didn't make eye contact with me for the rest of the day. But yeah, it all worked itself out in the end, and he at least definitely now knows I'm an amputee. So either way, word of advice for any amputees out there watching this: if you're not 100% sure that your coworker is aware you're missing a leg or a limb of otherwise, I don't know how they wouldn't know you were missing an arm, but let's just stick with leg then. If you're not 100% sure your coworker doesn't know that you're missing a leg, it's probably best to make sure he doesn't find out by walking in on you holding a can of WD-40 in one hand and your leg in the other. So that's my word of advice for the day. Anyways, thank you for watching. As always, it's your boy Johnny, aka Crew 90, and I'll catch you next time.